What up, guys? Yo, real quick, I got a piano, bruh. I just started learning how to play. Let me show y'all something real quick. That's it. Oh, I just started learning, but it's really cool. I love learning. But this video is about identity, and oh man, I am excited. This is what I love to do. I love to learn more and teach more about this subject. Like, this is what I've been focused on for the last 6 months, is literally just who am I? And yeah, that's been my question. Who am I? What am I? Why am I even here on this earth? And I feel like that's where a lot of people are. They're so lost. They're so lost. They don't know who they are. They're actually living in this lie identity. They're not living as their true they're not living or operating from their true selves. So that's why a lot of people are insecure and not confident, is because of that. It's a really deep subject, and I could go so many places with this. First place is, I guess I'll define identity. So there's a difference between identity and a mindset. So a mindset, like a growth mindset, is instead of taking like hard things in life, like challenges, like losing money, losing a job, all this stuff, instead of taking that as a failure, a growth mindset would be, what can I learn from this? Like, this is open up, like when one door closes, another door opens, or whatever. That's kind of like a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is, it's like not a willingness to learn, I guess. I don't know. I can't relate. I'm just kidding. So a mindset is just a way of thinking. Like the poverty mindset, some people have a poverty mindset about money. Some people have an abundant mindset. Some people have a scarcity mindset about life in general. There's not enough food. There's not enough air to breathe. There's not enough trees. There's like this global warming. All these are like different mindsets. Or there's the abundant mindset, which is like, there is enough for everybody to go around. There's enough money. There's enough food. There's enough, all the resources. There's enough to go around. That would be an abundant mindset. So an identity, it's very close to those, but an identity is not any specific mindset necessarily. An identity is how you view yourself. So an identity would be like, I am a musician, or I'm an athlete. Those are like how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself. So if your identity is I'm an athlete, it's going to be very hard for you to go against that identity. It's very hard for people to, this lighting is not good. Let's see. It's going to be very hard for people to go against their identity. Also, another way to view identity is your subconscious mind, right? Your conscious mind, man, that's that's hard to explain, the difference between your subconscious and conscious mind. I guess your subconscious is your being, your identity, and your conscious is like the things you do. And you can like discipline you can discipline yourself to do things. You can conscious mind would be your, oh yeah, this is a really good explanation. Your conscious is like your willpower. It is hot in here. Our AC is broken. So like, hopefully it's not too loud outside. I'm gonna pull this window up. Grab that. Maybe for a little right now. That does not sound like it's okay. So, I recently learned, what got me hooked on this was I learned a principle. And this principle is called the be, do, have principle. So, essentially, in order for you to have things, whatever you want, right? A house, a car, a business, a built body, even character traits. Like you want to be a good person. You want to have that. You want to become that. This principle is found in the Bible. The Bible, just a heads up, the Bible is not a book about religion. I actually don't like the way most religions operate these days. They are very human focused, not God focused, or if they are God focused, I don't know. I don't know about religions, but the Bible, it has religion in it, but it's not a book about religion. It is a book that has principles, patterns, parables. It's a love story. It is so many things. It's not just about religion. But yeah, here is one of the craziest principles I've ever found, or I've ever I don't know. It's crazy. It literally changed the way I think, and it changed my life. So in Genesis 1, literally chapter 1, book of Genesis, first book of the Bible, in case you're still confused. Right after God creates us. So in verse 26 and 27, God creates man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female, created he them. Literally right after that, verse 28 is where this principle is. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living creature, or every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So, be fruitful, right? That is your identity. That is your being. The Bible uses a really good analogy of the tree. So if you are a tree, if you're a bad tree, you're not fruitful, right? I've never tried to explain it this way. But basically that's your being, right? Being fruitful, producing fruit. And multiply. That's not a being, that's an action. So An action is like do. You're doing this. That's multiplying, is a doing. And replenishing, that's also an action. And subduing is also an action. So, right after God blesses them, God said unto them, be fruitful, and do multiply, and do replenish the earth, and do subdue it, and have dominion over the fish. Let's see, and have dominion. Okay, so there's this principle, be, do, have. That was God's ideal for man. And I actually literally just learned this today. After the fall, there's now one more step. It's kind of in the having, but there's one more step in this principle, and that is becoming. So it's crazy because the temptation, the fall of man, it was literally this be, do, have. It is essentially how humans operate. It's our operating system. So even if you don't know about this principle, you're using it. Everybody is using this principle. Maybe not to its greatest ability and effect. The example I just thought of would be like, yeah, you can use your phone or you can use your computer for like the basic things. But if you know the entire makeup of that computer and how it is coded, you can be able to use that computer for so much more and have way more of an understanding of that computer and be able to use it to its full capability. So if we understand, the more we understand ourselves, the more we can become and have and do, right? If we don't have a good understanding of who we are, how we operate, our operating system, we're not going to be able to achieve as much in life as we might want to. But yeah, in the temptation in the Garden of Eden, when Satan tempts Adam and Eve to eat this fruit, he's literally like saying this principle. He's saying, where is it? For God doth know in the day ye eat thereof, that your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods. See, that's the same principle. Be, you'll be as gods, knowing good and evil. So that's like having the knowledge of good and evil. If you do eat the fruit thereof, if you eat thereof, so that's the doing. If you do, then you shall be, and then you shall have. So it's twisted that principle. Instead of be, do, have, it's you need to do, then you can be, and then you can have. Yeah, that's another thing you need to understand is Satan is not equal to God in any, good is not equal to evil. Evil is not equal to good. Evil is a parasite of good. It's like a corruption of good. Evil can't exist without good. But good can exist without evil. See, nobody goes and does anything for the sake of just doing evil. Unless they're like those twisted people, like serial killers, literally like twisted in the brain. And that's the exception to the rule, right? But most people, they do evil things for the sake of something good. See, all our desires, God created us perfect, right? So all the desires he gave us are good desires. But after the fall, all those things are corrupted and twisted. So when people desire good things like sex or money or anything, they're desiring a good thing, but the way they go about getting it or attempting to get it can become evil very quickly. But they're not doing those evil things for the sake of doing evil. Like people do things just for the sake of doing good. Like people will be kind and do all sorts of things just for the sake of being good. But nobody in their right mind will do anything for just the sake of doing it for evil. Like there's always a motive to do it for good, or like do it to get something good out of it. But it's twisted and corrupted, and they end up doing some evil with it. That was a rabbit I just chased. Back to the thing. So another thing about this is when you try to apply this principle of be to have, like how Satan's tempting them to eat thereof, and your eyes shall be open, you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. When you try to do this without God, that's when we get, can't really see that. That's when it becomes cursed. Oh, it's backward. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see. Right after this happened, that's when we were cursed. That's when we tried to apply this principle. We tried to do it ourselves, not relying on God. That's when that becomes cursed. That's when this principle, you're not going to be able to apply it in the same way. Because if you notice, before he even gave us this principle, this way of operating, it says, chapter 1, verse 28, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be, do, have. Right after Satan tempts them and they try to be, do, and have without God, literally, that's the fall. That's the fall of man. And a lot of people get so confused about, well, if God is so good, then why did he put this tree in the garden? If God is so good, if he's all knowing, all this stuff, why did he put this tree in the garden and like basically make them do this evil thing and disobey God and get cursed? Like, why would he do all that stuff? So that question just comes from a fundamental understanding. Fundamentally not understanding the character of God. So the only thing God limits himself by is our free will. Because without our ability to choose, we would be like robots, having no choice but to do good. Right? Who would want that? Like literally being forced to do good. So the reason God put this tree in the garden was to give us a choice. He said, put this tree in the garden. He said, don't eat of this tree. That was a direct command telling them, don't eat of that. If you eat of this, you will die. Notice how Adam and Eve aren't alive anymore. They died, right? I believe that we are eternal creatures. We were never meant to die. That's why everybody's always so confused. Like, why did the time pass so by? Oh, he died so suddenly. Oh, we're very conscious of the fact that our time is slipping by so fast. And it's because we were never meant to die. We are eternal creatures. God is eternal. We were created in his image, after his likeness. We are eternal beings. So God didn't instantly kill them when they ate of the fruit. That was him showing mercy. But now we have an expiration on our lives. I'm just chasing rabbits. Oh my goodness. Where was I? Yeah, so back to the free will. The reason all these evil acts are happening is because God, first of all, God is all powerful. He could literally stop all these things. But he would have to take away our free will. So God must have thought that, I don't know, I'm just I'm just guessing. His ways are higher than my ways of thinking. Like, I'm guessing here, but he must have thought that the price of free will, all this evil, all this pain and suffering, was worth the reward of true love, like true connection with us. And God's gonna make every right wrong anyways, so we chilling. But let me see. Accidentally paused the video. So back on track. I'm not good at filming these videos. Tend to get off track really easily. So our identity was perfect in the beginning. But now, after the fall, we have these identities. Everybody's so lost. I was lost for most of my life. Like 99% of my life, I was wondering, I was so lost and insecure and hopeless, and I didn't have a vision for my life. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know who I was. That's a result from the fall and from our image being distorted, our identity being twisted after sin and death entered this world and all this stuff. But, oh man, you could just share the whole gospel real quick. So this is what's so cool about God. This is where his love and mercy and justice and all that stuff come into place. So all of us, as a result of sinning and as a result of the fall and all this stuff, all of us deserve death, right? Because if God is so good and his standard is so perfect, and his justice is so great and so good as well, anything that falls below this standard of perfection deserves the ultimate justice, which is death. Right, so that's why people, okay, I keep chasing rabbits. So, God, oh yeah, no, that would fit into it. So, that's why we started sacrificing animals and stuff, trying to pay for this debt of death, or that's why they did in the Old Testament. But ultimately, that was like a Band-Aid. It's not really going to pay the price, because animals aren't equal to us. So even if we killed every single animal, it wouldn't pay. They're not on the same level of us. They're not of the same value of us. So they wouldn't pay that debt that we owe. But man is equal to man. So if we killed all the humans, that debt would be paid. But the problem is, now there's no more humans. What would be the point of that? Right, so God is greater than humans. But God as man, aka Jesus, which is both God and man, is equal to humans and also greater than humans. Greater than man. so he can pay that debt. And so trying to tie this into identity. So he pays that debt, restores our identity in him. We take on his identity. Now, God no longer views us as in Adam, as in our sinful nature. He views us as his perfect son that paid. It's really hard. I'm not doing it justice. It's so good, but I've never tried to teach all this. I want to start doing maybe more of like a podcast format, right? So someone's asking me questions. That way it's maybe stays more on track and also flows better, right? Because I'd be having crazy conversations with people, like 3-hour conversations, like with my sister and friends and stuff, and it's like constantly flowing, and I'm able to and we're just teaching and learning from each other, and it's really good. But it's not the same level, because I'm trying to do this all myself without anybody asking me any clarifying questions or thought-provoking questions, or just questions that other people would have. Yeah. I'm no longer really feeling the energy. I got so off track. Man, yeah. It's been a long day working. Yeah, we'll have to do another video on this. Maybe when I get some more clarity or just energy. All right. See you guys later.